Hey guys, we're playing Ark Survival Evolved Aberration map. Yeah, Vaughn said he'd be along shortly after. He's gonna spin the wheel in GTA 5, I think. Whatever that means at the casino, I think. Looks like Nate's been on because Dwayne's upside down. How does he intend to get him back? I guess you could follow him. Have him follow. Or crash like that. So, daily tasks, I guess, while we wait for the conversation.
Good evening.
Good evening, Source. Vaughn.
Thank you.
I'm live already, so FYI.
That's cool.
Alright.
I must have visited the casino late night because there's like 5 hours until I can spin again.
Oh, that is late.
Yeah,
Or early, depending on your point of view.
very true, very true. Late, early, late. Because technically, very early in the morning, probably like, let's see, 5 a.m.
Oof.
Give or take, plus or minus.
Yeah.
So we've got 5.5 hours. Or sounds like it's games. I must have enjoyed myself and peacefully segued into the sleeping mode shortly thereafter. That probably went to the casino, made something to eat, and then probably went to bed, knowing me. Because I did have to clean a pot out this morning that looked like I had some stew.
Oh. Let me stew.
Dinty more beef stew. Good stuff. Highly recommend it.
Oh man, you can carry so much more with the mining drill. It's ridiculous.
I'd believe it.
Mining drill plus Ravager, though.
Oh, yeah, because the Ravager, with you and the drill and you holding the stuff in your inventory and riding the Ravager, and a little bit in or on the Ravenger's, in the Ravenger's inventory, probably makes for a really good metal run, because it's probably what you're hunting for.
Yeah, I got 2 nodes, which is like 2,000 metal on me right now. More than 2,000 metal. And we're going medium slow on the Ravager.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's that much metal and only going half as fast. I'd say that's pretty epic.
Yeah. I agree. It's my daily task since we got enough drugs.
Oh yeah, true. And Nate even made another storage locker because we had so much.
Oh, a fourth.
Yep, that's what the other locker is for. Is the
and I figured he was on because his rock drake was in a weird place.
Yep, he's got his rock drake hanging out upside down over here.
Yeah, I saw that.
Me personally, if I was a rock drake, I'd probably be used to it, but it would be very disorienting.
Yeah.
Especially
Probably
if
go
you're
to
able
your
to.
head too.
Yeah, yeah. Probably have a crooked neck after so long,
Yep.
especially if you like fall asleep and your head just falls backwards. I could just see
Yeah. All the
the
blood rushing
pain,
to your head.
all the blood rushing to the head, and at the same time that crick in the neck when you wake up. It'd be like you would hope that your best friend would be there to rub your neck for you.
Yeah. Somebody.
Yeah, someone or something, significant other, friend, compatriot,
Companion.
Michigan, just because I was like, what can I say here?
Right,
They're
sure.
Michigan.
No
They're
worries.
Michigan.
Funny thing is, after doing a node, I can't walk, so I've got to be right next to the Ravager when I do the node of metal, so that I can hop on him and have him move me over to the other one.
That's probably a fun one. So it's like you're abled but disabled. So you are handy capable.
Handy cable via the
Mining drill.
mining drill and service animal.
Yes, mining drill and servicing.
Oh, even the Ravager's a little overloaded on after these two nodes.
That's believable.
I better teleport because we got. Why do I have a primitive riot shield on me?
Oh, that's because Nate produced riot shields for us for when we go after the Reapers or whatnot. So the ones that aren't being impregnated are pretty much given a little bit of extra protection. And then as we all become impregnated or something, we eventually somehow make it back here alive.
Oh,
as a team or something like that.
something like that.
Because I'm not exactly 100% sure on exactly how it works for getting the Reaper to do the thing, and if we can use the same Reaper within the enclosed space that Nate's envisioning.
Have to put ourselves in the incubator. Or we are the incubator.
We are the incubator. But that's funny. That's a funny thought there. That's definitely a good comedy moment there for sure.
Sure.
We'll have to put ourselves in the incubator.
I'm trying to be positive, but yeah,
Understandable.
understandable. I don't want to discuss the details with Twitch, but suffice it to say, family affairs are not going the way they're supposed to go. So I'm a little.
That is an
out.
unfortunate thing that does happen.
Yeah.
From time to time for all of us in some differing way.
Mm-hmm.
I remember holidays. For our family, it never felt like a holiday until my mother and grandmother would get into a tiff. And at that point, we definitely knew it was a holiday. We always waited for the traditional argument.
Right.
And once that happened, it was kind of like the, yay, it's a holiday.
It's Christmas.
Yes,
Mom
it's
and
Christmas.
Grandma are fighting.
Easter or something like that, or whatever we would all be gathered together for.
Right.
But Christmas would definitely be the big one where that could happen because, of course, my mother and grandmother having their own places or apartments or houses or whatnot, and the other having to be displaced for a short time into the other person's home, it would just cause those tense moments.
Yeah.
But that's family.
At my house, it's not a big meal holiday, like Thanksgiving or Christmas until my mom starts cursing because she burned herself in the oven.
Oh, yeah. That sort of thing, that little hint that lets you know that it's definitely the big meal day because, there's so much going on that you lose concentration and accidentally splash some hot water on you in the right way.
Yep, or grab the pot or touch the oven or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And that's extremely easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
I always worry about that every time I'm like taking a tray of French fries out of the oven. Ease it in there, pull it out carefully. Don't touch the metal parts.
Right.
Unless you're holding a pot holder.
Oh, that's what? That's 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 and change is more than 5,000 metal, which means more than 2,500 ingots. That's not a bad run.
That's an excellent run. That is a very excellent run. One's flying around.
Yep. I wonder who that could be.
That would have to be you, because I don't think Nate's here at present, but I'm climbing around.
Well, you have to be right.
And the way you use the riot shield is you just put it in your offhand slot where we would normally have our chibis at.
Yep.
And without having the awesome scope enabled, you just right click and it'll bring it up in front of you, giving you literal 100% defense.
100% increase to defense? Nice.
And it has extremely high durability, if you'll notice, because the one that I have has 2,300, and yours probably has similar.
Mine's in my folder, so you could check it if you wanted to compare.
In the folder. Okay. Yeah, how much does that weigh is a good question. I never paid attention to that. Oh, wait, 3. That would explain that. So maybe storing that in the folder is actually a wise
until we actually need it.
Choice until we actually use it, because that's a lot of weight. Yep, exactly the same durability. A metal framed shield reinforced with polymer and crystal absorbs damage from the front when activated. So it pretty much takes all of your damage for you, which is good. Thank you for looking.
Awesome, thanks for looking. Like you said.
Yes, the lurk.
Oh, lurk. I thought you said something else. Okay.
Lurking, searching, squirking, quirking. Timber! There she blows. England burning 40 Celsius degree temperatures, according to what I saw on that TikTok.
Yeah, we had that where I lived last year, so welcome to the club, to England. That's what I say.
Yeah, it definitely proves that Mother Nature is definitely out of whack and getting worse. What I find extremely neat is the past 2 to 3 years, there's been heavy talk about the global warming and so on and so forth. And now suddenly, the past 2 years have been extremely warm summers. And it only seems that this one is worse than the previous one. So that doesn't bode well, especially if countries or places would normally not even eclipse the 80 to 90 degree mark when it comes to the Fahrenheit scale, which would be about 25 Celsius, 25 to 30 Celsius, give or take, plus or minus. And they're like 10 Celsius hotter at the absolute max now. Yeah, that would be scary and creepy at the same time. The fact that we've all been talking about it, and then suddenly, boom, it's like someone turned on a massive blow dryer or something. They're blow drying the planet.
The thing is, technically, global warming is about averages. So single storms or single events aren't really global warming per se, as much as the average or the overall effect as a whole, you know? It's not to say that it isn't happening or that it is happening, just that a single heat wave isn't proof of global warming, is all I'm saying.
Understandable. It's when you have like mega multiples all in a direct row that it probably would be linkable at that point. And that's when it would be extremely bad.
Yeah. I guess that would work.
Because I know Texas, like last year, is also sweltering in heat. They say that they've got their power plants working overtime pretty much.
Oh, wow.
Which isn't good because they already had their system crash out a few times last year, which means there's the very high possibility that their electrical grid will flunk out this year on folks at the most important times.
Let's hope not. At least they won't freeze to death like they did when they had the power outage, the rolling blackouts during the winter in Texas.
Yeah, in which down in Texas it would be extremely rare and odd to actually freeze to death as opposed to frying.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know it'd be odd, and that's the weird thing is that they had a really cold spell and everybody turned their heat on, and the grid couldn't take it. It was like last year or the year before, I believe.
Yeah, I believe I recall that because that was probably one of those areas where they had the grid fail down there. And if it does anything like it did for the entire East Coast and most of Canada that one year, when it like started here in Ohio, uniquely enough, I end up in the place where it started from. But a power line here supposedly overheated and caused a power plant to trip, which caused a cascade effect. That power plant tripping caused it to suddenly have a lack of power, and therefore other power plants were trying to cover for it, and as it did a roll through the grid, each power plant started overloading, and poof.
Yep, and cascade effect.
And it just did a rolling cascade effect. By the time everyone knew what was going on, it was too late. All the power was already off.
Yeah.
And then it stayed off for many people for up to 2 to 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Because I remember where I was in lower western New York State, we were without power for 2 months.
2 months?
Literally
Holy
2 months.
Cow. That's ridiculous. Really need to do something about the power grid.
They definitely do, because if they don't, and we do end up in what Nostradamus has predicted many, many eons ago, yeah, it won't be very pretty. How can I squeeze that? Oh wow, the dung beetle made it all the way over there, and I was still over here. We'll just store these smalls here.
Oh great, another earthquake.
The Earth loves us, and it's just trying to shake our hands.
Planet quake, or she call it, because it's not. We're not on Earth.
True. Yeah.
Ground quake.
Yeah, it makes sense. And this one somehow, even though it's got the same ferocity to it, seems a little milder.
You think?
Yeah. Okay, what am I carrying? That stuff. Oh, as I move, it seems worse. When if you stand still, it doesn't seem as bad. A definite decent amount of stone.
Oops. I just threw myself into the ground.
Oops.
And it was a dive from the building. I was trying to
Ouch.
hit the water, but I
Oh, yeah. I've done that before where I, like, hang glide down and splash into the water just offshore. But it's also easy, very easy, to be too close in shore and slam your face right off the bottom of the lake.
yeah. Gotta go into work tomorrow, but I have an appointment with my lawyer, so I don't have to get up as early because the appointment, it would be like, if I went into work at the usual time, I'd be there for a half an hour and then have to leave. So.
Yeah, so it'd make sense to get permission from the boss to
Just wait
just
until
come in after the other appointment.
And that's what I got. I got word to do. If I want to come in before and work for half an hour, I can do that, or I can come in after. It's up to me. It's nice. I got a great
Which is
boss.
definitely good when you have a boss that's willing to work with you on stuff like that.
Yep.
Because some places are real picky where they're like, nope, we need you, period, blah, blah. You have to schedule it for a day that we're not on duty, so on and so forth.
Well, I tell them, then they should have well, the thing is, I told them about it last week, so they wouldn't have that excuse either. So she just forgot. She forgot that I had to work and didn't call me early. Or backward. I got that backwards. That I had an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't call me yesterday to come in, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to articulate, but my brain is broken. Apparently.
That happens to us all a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Those brain farts and those moments where I'm like, oops, my brain skipped a sector. I'll have to do another hard drive scan.
Yep. Come around to that sector again.
Yep, come around to that sector again, double check it, make sure it's not completely devoid of the possibility of recovery.
Wouldn't spin right on my brain.
Yep.
If you get that joke, people in Twitch and YouTube land, I love you. Or you're amazing, or something like that. Yeah, amazing. Because that's kind of a old school joke. Or an old school reference, very old school reference.
Yep, because it's even becoming antiquated now with the new storage options that are available.
Oh, I'm talking about spin right. The spin right comment.
Oh, the spin right?
Yeah, that's really old school. It's a spoiler alert, it's a hard drive utility from the DOS days.
Oh, okay.
Norton Utilities, they basically stole it for their disk doctor.
That would explain why I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Because I haven't used Norton antivirus in such a long time.
Yep, the company actually basically stole the code and implemented it without paying the author.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's bullshit of them for sure.
Yep.
And at the same time, Norton and McAfee both kind of became one of the things that they were both trying to fight against.
Yeah, they're
which
bad.
is
They're malicious
bloatware.
Bloatware and malicious
And as
software.
well as malicious stuff, because they always add in now on those platforms is the constant advertisement type thing. And it's like if you lapse on your payments or whatnot, all you'll get is just this, update now or reschedule your blah, 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 and we'll give you like so much off. And it's like still a ripoff if you ask me, because it's got so many pieces of software that goes with it that it like takes up a lot more space, hardly does anything, and you still have the same problems.
And the modern antivirus has to hook itself so far into the OS that it actually can create vulnerabilities.
All of itself, just by the antivirus itself.
By the antivirus being present, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I personally prefer like Malwarebytes and Microsoft Defender.
I just use Windows
built
Defender.
into Windows, and it does its job. It does work.
Yeah, if I have a question about a file, I'll send it to VirusTotal. But other than that,
yeah. Which that's always a good thing to do is send suspect files that you're not sure of to the experts and let them check it out and find out.
VirusTotal uses like all the different antivirus suites to scan the file, and so it shows you the net result of all the different, and it shows you like McAfee or Windows Defender said it was a virus or didn't say that or whatever.
That's cool.
That's pretty, yeah.
And every now and then, Windows Defender will, get things that are safe wrong, only because other people chose to report them for whatever reasons, but you know that they're still safe or whatnot.
Yeah.
Because, like, I also use, in which it's probably obsolete and I probably don't need to use it, but I didn't like the newest versions of it because it started doing the same thing as all the other companies, and even CCleaner is doing that now, where it's constant advertising. If you give up your subscription,
Oh
they're
yeah.
always like, "Oh, resub, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "No."
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done with the subscription portion because it costs way too much and it doesn't do enough. And what it does do, even though it does help the system and it does help improve things, like with their new thing, they're doing the thing where you could put programs to sleep or whatnot on PC, much like you can on a phone.
Mhm.
Uh, and that does help speed things up, but then you always have the problem of things not interconnecting sometimes. Like my OneDrive, for example, with screenshots, it started not collecting my screenshots.
That's weird.
And the way it was supposed to, the way CCleaner put it, Pureform, the people that make CCleaner said that whatever is needed will automatically turn on and then turn back off again and stuff like that, but it wasn't cooperating with the OneDrive cloud.
Hmm.
So I kind of had to make a choice, and when it came for my subscription to be repaid for, I said, nope, it costs too much, and that right there, even though it's good, it's also bad because it wouldn't update when I would need to transfer files between computers or whatnot.
Right. Your cloud syncing wasn't working, so yeah.
Yep, because it would not be on, and it
Mhm.
needs to be on all the time for it to sync correctly.
Yep. What happened to 4.0? I forget what I call him. Billy 4.0. Is he in the
Oh,
fridge?
yeah, it's in the freezer,
Okay.
along with another decently massive grouping of those, because there's also Expendable, along with Random Baby and then Billy 4.0 there,
Oh,
Rocky Earth.
Rocky Earth. Yeah, I think that's one I named.
Yes, I think that is also one of your dinos.
Mm. Expendable is literally that. Expendable.
Yep, totally and honestly expendable. Well, let's take a look at okay, that should be food. Yes. Oh, we should definitely get a level up out of this, or
Ooh, a
several.
level 86 wild bulldog.
That's a tempting
Yeah,
catch for sure.
we got enough bulldogs then. I'm not going for it. That's for sure. It's weird how in an airplane you pull up at the last second in order to slow down, so you reduce lift and
Yep.
land.
Very large crab coming out.
Oh, yeah, that is a big crab. Hello, Mr. Crab.
And no level up. It's just shy of gaining.
Do I have a crab?
Pick
I
one.
don't remember.
There's
No
3 of them all
worries.
together that Nate got us all.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm not even looking in the freezer.
It's kind of like when you're going looking for something that would not be in the refrigerator and you open the fridge.
Yeah.
Looking at it like, why am I looking at the food in the fridge?
But there's like 2 Carcanos in here, level 167 and a level 76.
Mm.
I think the level 76 was actually higher level than the one I have, but because I've been adding levels to mine, it's gotten higher level. And mine's actually only 73, so it's still a
Oh,
low
the
one.
female?
One of the females. I don't know if the top one was male or not.
I think the
Yeah,
other
top
2
one
are
is
male.
male.
Yeah.
Yep, the 167 is male.
Yeah, I don't need a Carcanos. What I need to do is stop stressing.
Definitely understandable on that. It's not easy though.
No.
I know when I get stressed, I actually like. If I'm super stressed, I actually don't eat sometimes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have the opposite habit.
And then there's other times where I had stress and I like did do a little bit of stress eating, but it was of stuff that was supposed to make me feel better, like cakes, ice cream, snacks.
The worst kind of food to eat, stress eat. Yep.
Unfortunately, but it's typically the most common, easiest thing that doesn't
True.
require you to cook it, because usually that stuff is already all prepared for you. And just like they always say, all having already prepared food is usually bad for you because it's done by a company. They follow a formula, and it's usually all the same, tastes the same every time, no matter what. But usually has more salt or whatever bad stuff in it than we should actually have. Okay, let's see. I think I'll put it on melee. Get that up just a notch there. Then I think future ones will be on the HP because I want to get that up over 10k. But we'll have to wait for another level to happen. And that's looked at all of my frozen tames. Minus, of course, the babies. I think I put those in the correct folder. Yes.
Shaky, shaky stuff pop out of the ground. Well, we're low on crystal, it looks like.
And we were getting low on wood, so the other day I went out and got a good few loads of wood.
Oops.
And I was like, wait a minute, it looked like you flew up after coming in here.
I did. I got on the frog and I jumped up and overshot the wall and the platform.
So I was like wondering what was going on with the flying. Those frogs will do that. They've got that bounce. You know, you see it. Jump around. I jump around.
Okay, frogs can't collect crystals. Okay. I mean, pearls. You have to get off the frog.
Those pearls out around the lake under the water. I've done that a time or two or three. Kind of fun just swimming around the lake and picking up the pearls. And I shall be back. I'm going to use the restroom, get some hydration, that being some water.
So dehydrate and rehydrate.
Yep, but I'm going to. Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. You only rent your coffee and your beer
And water.
and water and tea and so on and so forth.
Yes.
So we've got to give it back to the environment. And then we have to clean the environment because we pollute it.
Yep.
Yeah, we make ourselves work more.
Oh, no, 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 no. Don't overshoot. You're going to overshoot. Again.
And I am back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. And this summer, in comparison to other summers, most of the time I would just have cold water from the tap because it would still be fairly chilled. However, this particular year, I've noticed that as chilled as it gets is actually quite warm.
Oh.
Comparison to most years because of the pipes being under the ground and so many feet down. But yeah, this year it seems like the heat has been longer and harder. And Ed's definitely blamed on the direct solar interconnection. So.
We're probably at a solar maximum.
That is extremely likely because I know there were a time or two where NASA was like giving reports of increased flare activity and stuff like that.
I know this is the anxiety talking, but I was thinking about finding another game to use on the server or just getting out of the server.
Oh,
like I say, it's the anxiety talking. I'm stressed out, so.
I wonder what other games they host.
Plethora.
A plethora. Reminds me of Three Amigos. And the villain, who's actually quite hilarious. The Hispanic, kind of like Don Juan, kind of like individual. He's like he's having a birthday party, and he is counting his birthday gifts and stuff like that, and he's like, "Would you say I got a lot of birthday presents this year?" And he's like, "You got a plethora."
Plethora, yes.
Plethora. Does that mean I got a lot? He's like, yes, that means. Do you even know what a plethora means? Oh, yeah.
Lol.
Yeah. And I like the part where the Three Amigos, they're out like walking around in the middle of the desert, and they're like, "Oh, look, a mail plane." And he's like, "What? That's the mail delivery?" And he's like, "No, didn't you see the two small balls fall?"
Oh, God.
It's the landing gear.
Oh, God.
It was one of those fixed landing gear aircraft. So.
Yeah.
Did you see the two little balls hanging underneath it? Oh, mail planes.
Oh.
Comedy of the good old days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that film again because of the funniness, the comedy in it. You have a plethora. Do you even know what a plethora is?
Inconceivable.
Now that needs to be a thing with the Unreal Tournament announcer voice. I think that would be an excellent addition to the voice things that you have on your channel.
Oh, inconceivable.
Yeah, inconceivable, ultra kill, double kill, godlike.
The trouble is, if I were to do the inconceivable, I'd do the guy from the Princess Bride.
Oh, well.
I can't do his accent, but I'd pull that clip and I'd make a voice of that. You ever
Yeah,
seen the
that'd
print?
be
Yeah.
a good choice, I think, because that's just like when it comes to, oh boy, yeah, all of us know who's the best at that.
Right. George
George
Takei.
Takei.
Takei, yeah. Oh my.
He
Oh
just does it the
my.
best. There's another guy that kind of does an okay job, and that's 4chan,
Mm.
but he's not as good as uh, Takai or Takai, depending on how you like to pronounce his last name. As far as
Well,
I know, it's Takai, but could also be Takei. He kind
Takei.
of announces to both or whatnot because he's just so used to people mispronouncing it, I think.
I think it's George Takei, but I don't know.
Yeah, Takai, George Takai.
I think, or it could be you. You could be right. I don't know. Now I don't know.
I know it's confused because I've heard it in both forms and is George Takei or George Takai. And it's like, okay. Um,
That's a big poo.
yes, it is. That would be from our neighbor up on the roof
Yes.
or the ceiling, I should say.
It's too big for the dung beetle though.
At present, you'd have to remove some of the smaller
Yeah.
in order to get it squeezed in.
I'm
So
just
what
gonna
I
chuck
do
it
is
over
I
the
just
side.
temporarily hold stuff on the iguanodon for the little guy.
Oh, do you?
That way, since they're like always popping out, it means that I don't have to constantly always be looking. I can just go straight to the iguanodon when I'm online. Because since they dissipate pretty quickly, they
Right.
last about half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour at most. It makes it perfect timing for being able to get it to the dung beetle when the dung beetle needs it.
Well, I'm sorry I
Yeah.
missed Nate, but yeah, I was stressed. I was even worse yesterday and the day before. The day before was the
Yeah.
worst. Saturday was the worst because that was
Yeah,
the
the
day.
first day where it was noted of, stuff not happening the way it was supposed to.
Yeah. And we're gonna have to fight in court over it, so it's just ugly.
It is unfortunate that that
Yeah.
happened. Because I can honestly say that that's kind of how it happened to a certain extent for me being able to live with my mother like I did.
Oh yeah.
Because my grandmother actually won custody of my two brothers.
Huh.
And apparently, from what I was told, even though I was like really young and tiny, the judge specifically asked me exactly where I would personally like to live since I was the youngest one. And I was like, I'd like to stay with my mother. And therefore, the judge granted the wish
Huh.
and allowed me to stay with my mother, and I didn't have to go live with my brothers with my grandmother. So it's kind of like a very unique situation. It's like I had brothers but didn't have brothers because we both lived in different places, and the legal guardian was entirely different than most would have expected for half the family.
Yeah.
Because typically the grandparents are, already retired or completely off doing their own things by the time and stuff like that. But our grandmother, on the other hand, was more of a homebody
Oh.
because she always stuck close to home. Would
Mm.
go on vacations and stuff like that, but on average, it'd be places close to home within a few hours' drive. And pretty much the tri state area, as we like to call it, in the area where I was largely raised, any direction you went, there was always something that you could go to that was entertaining. skiing in the hills or mountains of New York, down Central State, camping and horseback riding, downstate, as well as over in Ohio and over in New York.
I grew up in
Amusement
this
parks.
tri-state area.
Hmm?
I said I grew up in the tri-state area. We won't
Which is
specify where exactly because we're on the internet live. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Which I probably shouldn't have listed my areas, but yeah, too late.
You didn't get too specific, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Yep, just pretty much differing states.
Yeah.
Without actually listing major cities.
Yeah. I can't stop. I can't focus. I mean, I can't do anything in this game. So, yeah.
It's definitely frustrating the way things happen.
Yeah.
Looks like metal's completed in its processing. So we can turn that off for now.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
There's a lot of metal that
Yep. Look at all that. That's a very large amount of ingots.
Mm-hmm. Not as much as I expected.
Over 2.5 rows.
Yeah.
2 2/3 rows.
3, 6, 9. Well, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 per row. 1,800
and then
per
if you
row.
have the little bit of metal that's other places, along with the large amount that's probably here. Well, not as large as it was, but still a good amount of metal.
18 is 32. No.
How's our
30,
fuel doing?
34.
Jenny.
34.
That's actually doing extremely.
So, yeah, that's quite a chunk of metal.
Yep, and that's a lot of metal in there. It's kind of nice when you live in a corner area of a state and you have two other states that are like directly adjacent to you, or even more so, you got 3 if you're at certain corner of certain states and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But since up on the North Coast, as we like to call it, up here on the Great Lakes, you typically, depending on the state where you're at, you'll have like a neighbor state next to you, possibly. Unless you're in like a lower section of the state,
Right.
then you'll have 2 other states, maybe 3. But other than that, since we're up here at the top, we've got the Great Lakes.
One of my mother's friends when I was growing up lived right on the line of between area codes for phone numbers. And so her next door neighbor had a different area code than she did. So dialing her next door neighbor would be long distance.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's the unfortunate thing that happens with the system.
Not anymore, thankfully. Well, not if
Yeah,
you
a
sell
lot
cellular.
of and a lot of phone services automatically don't charge as much as they used to for the long distance section, and if they do, a lot of times it's just an added-in freebie, especially with cell phones, because when you have a cell phone, it's like uniquely different. I don't know exactly how, but yeah.
In the old days, of cell phones, you had to pay for every minute, even when somebody called you.
Yep, you'd be double paying essentially.
Yep.
And now typically it's all you pay for is what you use as part of your airtime or whatnot, depending on your service plan.
Yeah, depending on the plan, of course. Yeah.
Because, like, with my service plan, I have a lot of free minutes and stuff that's always added that I don't use, and those roll over. Thankfully, not all companies allow their time to roll over between, like 1 month's service and another month's service, and they'll like erase your service minutes because they just want to be evil.
Yeah.
At least that's my thought on it. But
I
I
have an
never
unlimited plan,
where it just
so
rolled over.
I'm sharing my phone service with my family, so it's cost effective to do an unlimited plan.
Makes sense.
Unlimited minutes, unlimited text, unlimited data. So
So that way you're not restricted in any way, shape, or form in
yeah,
any
which
way.
is
And
nice.
you get
Only
everything
one not
done
on the
that you
plan. Only one not on the plan is my dad. He refuses to leave track phone. He's like, I got 200 some minutes or something, and I'm not giving it up.
I actually use track phone myself.
Yeah.
And that's largely because it's extremely affordable. And as stated, all of that rolls over. It interconnects with whatever you buy to add to it. So if you go cheap and you do the $9 to
Yeah.
$10 thing per month, you get 30 minutes, 30 megabytes, 30 text messages, and it all adds up over time.
Mm.
But I typically go for the bigger one sometimes. That costs like 20 and you get like 90, 90, and 90.
Mm. I was with track phone for a long time, but I wanted a smartphone, and at the time, track phone didn't have anything but crappy little wannabe smartphones.
Yeah, now they have smartphones now.
They do now, but
Thankfully.
at the time they
Yeah,
didn't, and so I switched over to a proper carrier, and yeah,
that makes sense. I've considered switching or changing, but I don't know. I like doubt myself, and sometimes with my plans or whatnot, because I could actually take my Obama phone and it to my other thing, but I don't know if they would be able to support the Obama phone because it's an older phone
oh yeah, you'd
type.
probably have to get a new one or something, which you wouldn't want to
And
do. But yeah, so
then I would somehow, I don't know if they still have it available. They may have changed that, but that like $30 off internet if you do your Lifeline thing and you use that as your Lifeline.
oh yeah, I got $30 off my internet recently. I got an ad in the mail. It's it's emergency something Biden did. It's emergency connectivity something or another.
Yeah,
And
it's pretty much like the Obama type thing,
yeah,
and works
it's a
off of
subsidy.
that, but extends it to other services. Since one of the common things is internet that people would use to be able to connect and communicate, they
Yeah.
classify that as your lifeline then. So you
Oh.
wouldn't be able to get any one of the other services because you can only have one lifeline service at a time.
Oh. Well,
And if that's the choice you make, but hey, that's $30 extra in
in
your
my
pocket
pocket. Yep.
and it saves you money. So
Hmm.
I need to decide and choose because I would either have to give up my Obama phone or I would have to transfer it over to my other network that I'm using, which of course is TrackPhone.
Mm. You got two cell phones or a landline and a cell phone?
Two cell phones, but I consider the Obama phone as like my household phone, my home phone, because I typically leave that at home and I take my more advanced smartphone with me.
Oh.
Unless, of
Okay.
course, I end up in the hospital and then I take both phones.
Hmm. Yeah, I've just
If
got
I
the one
can.
for myself, and I gave up landlines and home phone
Yeah,
ideas
I
a long
gave up
time ago.
landline too, because at the time I wasn't happy with my phone company, which I am actually using for my internet now. But back then, their service that I was paying for wasn't giving me the speeds that they were telling me I was getting. It was
Oh.
bottlenecking somewhere in the building because it had older phone lines that it went through in the store downstairs to up here in the apartment section.
Oh,
So I discontinued that, and I also had the phone turned off because I had cell phone, so I really didn't need the landline and
yeah.
paying extra for that.
Oh, hello.
Yep, daytime.
Mm-hmm.
Just turned out the lights on us. It'd suck if one was reading at that time,
Yeah.
and then suddenly it'd be like, oh, I read all night long. Now I have to get up and go to work.
Right.
Which I'm sure that can happen for some folks, where they just read a good book and they just can't stop reading.
I actually kept the landline a lot longer than I probably should have, but only because I needed to. I would have. What I mean to say is, I kept the landline longer than I would have, except for extenuating circumstances. I was going to university long distance and I needed a fax line, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Needed a
That
line
is
to
understandable.
faxes, so
Yep, faxing stuff back and forth between home and the university
yeah.
because they would always require the verification papers and things like that. And of course, those things are at home. So the only way to get that stuff to transfer correctly would either be go to the library and have them fax it for a fee, or do it yourself, or whatever charge the phone company would
Yeah.
was, if anything, which is probably a lot less than what they would charge you at the library to do it, because I know it's like 25 cents a page or something like that for them to fax or more.
Yeah, the
You know,
university average. I'm not going to say what university I graduated from, but they advertised a completely online mathematics program. And when I signed up, well, it wasn't completely online. Spent a lot of time on the phone, a lot of time faxing, a lot of time doing stuff that shouldn't be part of an online program. So I
yeah.
was none too happy because also I was paying out of state tuition, but I was
And that's
there.
higher sometimes than
Uh,
paying in-state tuition.
oh, it is always higher than in-state. Unless the school is a discount school. Even then, it's more expensive for that same school. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
especially for the cost and expense of getting to and from all the time if you have to go to the actual physical campus at times.
but I'm proud of myself. I graduated, and the department head had me down to his house for graduation. He let me stay there for a week or so, and I went to graduation and saw the campus, and took me
Nice.
to took me to this took me places and stuff, and yeah.
That's really nice of them to have done that for you.
Yeah, I think he was proud of me too, which was good.
Yep,
He
that's
kind of
always good.
took
I know
he
when I was doing college, I was on the dean's list all the time because I had a 3.5 GPA all the time,
nice.
which was unexpected. I didn't think I would have done that well, but I was actually doing that well. And it were averaged between a 3.2 and a 3.5. So most semesters I ended up on the dean's list.
Yeah, I actually ended up calling the department head early on because I was trying to take advanced calculus, and it, I couldn't get into a program, and there was nobody working with me, and so willing to work with me on it. And so I called the department head, and I was complaining to him, and he ended up taking me under his wing. So I think that's
Oh, that's
why.
cool.
Yeah. So it worked out. It just was expensive and should have been. It could have. Today it would probably be easier than it was when I did it.
Yeah, because computers are definitely far more advanced now, and
Well, it's
most of
not
all
even
that.
that. It's the department. The school is more set up for that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, more advanced on their end too. So
Yeah.
advanced both at home as well as in the schools and stuff.
One of my professors, the department head, called a tech dinosaur. So yeah, we. But I took a college level geometry course with him, and that was fun. Uh, he was cool. There was no. It was a lot of time on the phone, and it was really cool. They were really They went the extra mile with me, which is awesome, and I really appreciate it. So I don't hold it against them any, but still, it's like, yeah, it was advertised and not what it was advertised to be. So that was, yeah, that's that. Anyways,
Yeah.
ooh, shiny.
Oh, you see a shiny.
I don't know what it. Oh, there's shinies over here. Another shiny. Different shiny. It's fabricated pistol, blueprint, and metal window frame.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying for the shiny. A drop that was hidden over behind there that I didn't see. Purple drop.
Yeah, nothing good in it though. Oh, cool. Your hair looks wet after you get out of the water.
I never noticed that. Because, of course, I've always been wearing the helmet.
Right. All I got is mine hidden. And then it dries up pretty quick, but yeah. It's still drying. I think it's dry.
Your jacket is now dry.
At the tone, your hair will be dry.
Beep.
Bing.
That's weird. It looked like the elevator was moving but not moving.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it's like as you run across it, you're doing extra bouncing. I think it's just the way the surface of
Oh,
the
yeah,
elevator.
you bounced it a little bit on there.
Yeah. I think it's just the physics interaction between the platform and the ragdoll.
Mm-hmm. Night already?
It must have been 10% day, 90% night day.
It is.
Yep.
I keep logging on those days. Huh. Funny. We got a bunch. Oh, I know what he's been doing. He's been making the saddles.
Yep. That's what all these are in here, is the different saddles. We've got 2 at the ultimate level, and then the rest are almost there.
A row at Mastercraft and a row at Journeyman.
So it's the main to-do that Nate's been working on has been the saddles for the battle group, and planning mentally so far the build idea for the Reapers and where we're going to do that and stuff.
Right. That's this really. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna log off. I'm pooped. I've been stressing all day.
Understandable.
Gonna work on my anxiety levels. Jeez. Anyways, thanks for the hanging out and listening and talking. Source.
Yep. Welcome.
I'll see you later. All right, Twitch. Can't say that it was really fun for me, but it was interesting, and hope you found it interesting too, and maybe had a good time. Till next time, have a good night. Bye.